This is a true story, adapted from the real events that shocked the world in 2000. This incident is also the most serious nuclear submarine accident in human history. August 2000, Russian submarine Kursk, known as aircraft carrier killer, leaves the port to go to the designated location to carry out exercise tasks. 118 people inside the submarine are all performing their respective duties, organized and orderly, but none of them would have thought a disaster that is shocking the world is about to arrive. The soldiers in the torpedo compartment discovered this training piece called Fat Girl, torpedo abnormal. The temperature has reached 135 degrees. The captain realized that this was likely caused by hydrogen peroxide leak, so he immediately reported the situation, but they did not receive a launch order. We can only wait for the captain to return to the torpedo compartment and prepare for the launch of the Grange Fat Girl. The soldier found that the temperature of the chubby girl had exceeded its peak, reached 142 degrees Celsius, and it's still rising. The captain immediately reported the situation again and requested immediate launch, but the commander claimed that they were still 7 minutes away from reaching the designated location. Rejected launch request. The temperature has skyrocketed to 152 degrees Celsius during the conversation. The captain can only pray in panic. Just finished speaking. The explosion followed. The submarine lost control under a massive explosion, piercing one head on the seabed 100 meters deep, and the torpedo compartment is already in flames. The soldiers also died instantly. What's even more terrifying is that all the training torpedoes were grilled in the fire. The extremely high temperature makes them prone to explosions at any time. However, after the crew in the rear cabin reacted, immediately closed the hatch, closed the gas valve, and the control room was also in a mess. I also lost contact with the command room. On the dashboard, the temperature of the torpedo compartment is rapidly rising. Everyone stared at the thermometer in fear. However, with the thermometer extinguished, there was no explosion. They just breathed a sigh of relief. The second explosion followed one after another. All training torpedoes were detonated by high temperatures. Giant shock waves instantly destroy. The first half of the submarine's seawater surged in like a fierce beast. The captain asked all the surviving soldiers to quickly flee to the rear of the 9th warehouse. Continue calling and searching for teammates in Warehouse 7 on your own. At this moment, there was even more shocking news from Warehouse 5. That's it. That's it. Everything else is, I can't help it anymore. My teammates have no other choice. We can only sacrifice ourselves to prevent more serious disasters from happening. After a brief period of grief, the captain can only rush to Warehouse 9 on one side, while searching for and rescuing injured teammates. When he arrived at Warehouse 9, 118 crew members, with only 23 remaining, they all showed fear on their faces. Trembling with fear, after the captain calms down, assign tasks immediately. First stabilize the position, inventory reserves, and send personnel to repair the water pump and inspect the oxygen supply system. Send one person to knock on the pipeline at the same time. Send out a distress signal. Hit 4 times at a time. Repeat every hour. But due to the severe damage to the submarine, the water level in Warehouse 9 is starting to rise continuously. The water pump also lacks power, unable to function properly, although the team members are doing their best to repair it. But it still doesn't help. Meanwhile, the British Navy has detected a 3.9 magnitude earthquake in Russia's exercise waters. Colonel has extensive experience. He realized that it's very likely that a Russian submarine exploded. That's it. Actually, this exercise in Russia, the British Navy has been closely monitoring. Once the event occurs, shocking the world, NATO countries extend a helping hand, request support. Because of a series of issues, Russia has refused search and rescue assistance from NATO countries. Due to the sensitivity of this topic, let's just point it out. Please forgive me, everyone. Soon, Russia sent detection boats to the scene of the accident, and the old detection instruments have not been used for many years, already malfunctioning. Just returned to the scene of a messy explosion. Are there any survivors? They don't know anything about it yet, and the only rescue ship is still under repair. Can only urgently repair the sonar detection system, reluctantly detecting around. At this point, the water level inside the submarine has become increasingly high. Cold accompanied by hunger began to constantly erode the will of the crew. What's even more deadly is that, due to lack of electricity, the oxygen concentrator also fails to work. Keep going like this. We haven't waited for rescue yet. Everyone will die from lack of oxygen. They can only venture to the already flooded warehouse number 8 to get the material box and start the generator. So the captain, and one of the team members, endured the piercing seawater and sneaked into Warehouse 8. The search process was quite smooth, but the accompanying team members suffocated due to holding their breath for too long. The captain did not give up on him, but rather take risks. The risk of drowning dragged him back together. Fortunately, the captain has good water quality. The two successfully returned to Warehouse 9. The accompanying team members also woke up under rescue. They successfully brought back 2 material boxes. There are a total of 19 fuel rods. With these fuel rods, they can restart the generator. The captain specifically explained, fuel rods must not be contaminated with water, otherwise, it will trigger an explosion, triggering a fire. By then, not only does the engine fail to start, the air inside the cabin will also be burned out by the fire. Meanwhile, the team responsible for sending the signal struck the pipeline again. The headquarters finally detected a distress signal, and immediately activate the only rescue ship has been repaired to go for rescue. When reaching the accident location, send a submarine to launch for search and rescue. When the search and rescue submarine arrived at the scene of the accident and prepared to dock, unexpectedly, the search and rescue submarine showed low battery. Under helplessness, they can only temporarily return to charging. and the crew in the cabin have been excited when they hear any noise. Been up for so long, finally welcomed hope, but it hasn't been a while yet. They realized that there was already no movement outside. The newly arrived hope, instantly extinguished again. Fortunately, everyone still has enough oxygen to use now. I will definitely persist until their arrival. 12 hours have passed in a blink of time. The lifeboat has finally reached full capacity and is launching again, but this situation is the same as last time. Life-saving submarines still consume too much electricity, unable to complete rescue mission. The crew's mood is like a roller coaster, wandering back and forth between hope and disappointment. We have reached the brink of collapse. Some crew members even want to open the lifeboat to escape. Can withstand pressure of over 100 meters underwater. None of them can handle it, and the military is still unwilling to accept rescue requests from other countries, and praise the sea in front of the press conference and the crew's family. They will definitely be able to safely rescue the survivors, but 2 failed rescue attempts, causing the crew members' families to protest helplessly and angrily. The scene became chaotic as a result. They just want to fight for help for their husband or son, but the military remained indifferent, until the 3rd rescue operation failed. The military finally agreed to other countries' rescue requests, but it's already too late by now. The crew are exposed to prolonged low temperatures and despair. Consciousness is gradually blurring. When replenishing fuel rods, the fuel rod suddenly slipped from the hand. Instantaneous explosion. Although everyone hid in the water in time, the air inside the cabin was almost consumed by the fire. In a few minutes, they will suffocate and die. The crew did not complain to each other, but in this final moment, collective singing of military songs. At this point, Russia has only completed docking with other countries' rescue forces. Other countries will directly transport the rescue capsule to the submarine, and also send top divers wearing advanced equipment to test outside the submarine. Result display. The interior has been submerged by seawater. The scene where the diver opened the escape hatch with a heavy heart was extremely heartbreaking. The 23 surviving people made every effort, but I still couldn't make it to this moment. If the military could receive rescue from other countries earlier, but if the chubby girl could launch a few minutes earlier. But no matter what you say, the most serious nuclear submarine sinking accident in history has been recorded in history. The Kursk lost 118 people. The background and metaphor of the story. Tommy won't explain it anymore. Interested friends can consult with the aid. See you next time.